about you being gone is I can watch the game all day long, and I can stretch my legs out in the bed, extra pillow underneath my head. I don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside lonely. I got a lot more room for my stuff, and I only have to wash one cup. I can stay up late and play my guitar, and the groceries go twice as far. I don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside lonely. Your girlfriends ain't ringing the phone off the wall. I never have to hear from that mother-in-law. Ain't cut the grass since the middle of June. I smoke a big cigar up in my living room. Don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside lonely. Right on the floor, let the trash pile up right by the door. Eat pizza and ice cream 3 times a day, 'cause I ain't worried about watching my weight. I don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside lonely. Yeah, man, just think about all the good things about you being gone. Stretch out here at home. Hey, man, come on in. Don't mind the muddy shoes on the white carpet. She ain't here. You hungry? Hey, man, I got some food if you want to eat. I got a microwave oven with little pictures on the front of it. You just pick what you want to eat and push the button, and it will cook it for you. Yeah, man, you can smoke that cigar up here in the kitchen. Just use that vase over there. Need something to drink? We got beer, bourbon, whiskey, scotch, Diet Coke, Fanta. Yeah, man, I bet you've been on the road for a minute. Bathroom's right down the hall. Switches on the left, doors on the right. Just remember to leave the lid up. Leave it up. Yep. Hey everybody, welcome to Wednesday Night Live, Facebook Live, and I'm your host Brian Nova, and I hope it's a good Wednesday for you guys. Certainly a good Wednesday for us. believing, fretting or grieving. Why mess around with strife? I was never cut out to step out or strut out. Give me the simple life. Some find it pleasant, dining on pheasant. That stuff rolls off my knife. Just serve me tomatoes, mashed potatoes. Give me the simple life. Cottage small is all I'm after, not one that's spacious and wide. A house that's filled with joy and laughter, with the ones you love inside. Some like the high road, I like the low road, filled from all care and strife. It sounds corny and seedy, oh yes indeedy. Give me the simple life. Small is all I'm after, not one that's spacious and wide. A house that brings a throw in laughter, with the ones you love inside. Some like the high road, some like the low road, free from all care and strife. It sounds thorny and seedy, oh yes indeedy. Give me the simple life. Simple life, day or night. Love it, love it, love it. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well today. I hope everybody is having a good week so far. And big shout out to all our pals out there in jazz swing land as well as cigar land. Speaking of cigars, today's cigar of choice is an Ashton Cabinet. If you can all see that. Can't wait to get onto that one. Also, we want to tell you guys about our tip jar, which is right about there. And as it is listed, paypal.me, Brian Nova Music. And it's never expected, but always, always appreciated. Anything you can do to help us out. Over on this side right here is, of course, our
YouTube channel that we're going to be moving to YouTube. I know we keep saying that, and we are working on it diligently, folks. But we're moving to YouTube. So please subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe, and share this and share everything else and get us to subscribe, and we can make the move. Big shout out to our pals there at the Churchill Room, especially to my buddy George Ayton. Hope he's feeling better these days. And of course, all our pals at the Vertigo Lounge. Hope you guys are doing well as well. And of course, the Mirage Lounge and PDT Tobacco down here in the desert. Let's see. Today is one of my dear pal Larry Holloway's birthday. Happy birthday, Larry! Great bassist here in the. Actually, Larry and I have known each other probably 30 plus years. We played together in Seattle for years, and then many years here in the desert. So happy birthday, Larry! It's also Dizzy Gillespie's birthday, so a little bit of new, a little bit of old, keeping everybody sort of on the up and up. Hey there, Bob Sky and Ron and Aunt Marge and John Connors. I'm so glad you guys could join us today. Welcome to the show. Also, I've got bad news for my Seattle friends. Those that had not heard, the late great Overton Berry passed away. In fact, we got some pictures here, honey, of OB. There's a younger and an after pic there, man. You can see in his face that what a wonderful cat he was. And then got some other pictures. There's some pictures of we were doing a Legends of Jazz TV show up in Seattle, and of course behind me are three true legends of jazz. That's Overton on the piano, the late great Buddy Catlett on the bass, and Clarence Acox on the drums, legendary drummer and educator. Clarence is in charge of the Garfield High School band for the past, God, it must be almost 40 years now. But he is the guy that is put that band on the map and made it what it is today. So some great pictures there of the band back in the day. So Marcus and Sean and all the Berries family out there, our sincere condolences. We're going to try to do a show in the future here in honor of your dad. He was a great inspiration to me and many of the musicians in the Seattle area over the years. I'd also like to do a tune here. Speaking of inspirations, of course, one of my greatest inspirations was the great Nat King Cole. And this is a tune that Nat made famous called the Frim Fram Sauce. I don't want French fried potatoes, red ripe tomatoes. I'm never satisfied. I want the Frim Fram sauce with the awesome fay. Wish a fifer on the side. I don't want pork chops or bacon. That won't awaken my appetite inside. I want the Frim Fram sauce with the awesome fay. Wish a fifer on the side. Now fellas really got to eat, and a fella should eat right. 5 will get you 10. I'm gonna feed myself right tonight. I don't want fish cakes and rye bread. You heard what I said. Waiter, please serve mine fried. I want the Frim Fram sauce with the awesome fay. Wish a fifer on the side. fried tomatoes. I'm never satisfied. I want the frim sauce with the Austin Fay, with your Pfeiffer on the side. Don't want no pork chops or bacon, that won't awaken my appetite inside. I want the frim sauce with the Austin Fay, and your Pfeiffer on the side. Now fella, he's gotta really eat, and a fella should eat right. 5 will get you 10. I'm gonna treat myself right tonight. I don't want fish cakes and rye bread. You heard what I said. Waiter, please serve mine fried. I want the prim sauce with the Austin Fay, with your Pfeiffer on the side. With your Pfeiffer on the side. With your Pfeiffer on the side. Now, you don't have any of that. Just bring me a check for the water. One of my favorite tunes. All right. Hey, we got some more folks checking in. Kevin Vita, all the way from Mirage Cigar Lounge. Brother Kev, this is probably the only week you tuned in where I wasn't wearing my Mirage t-shirt. Anyway, great shout out to one of my favorite lounges on the planet. And they carry this lovely, if you can see it there, Too Much Night, Not Enough Light, a wonderful Ashton cigar. So we're going to certainly light that one up in a little bit. What else we got to talk about before we move on here? I guess that's pretty much it. So what I'd like to do right now for you folks is I've got a wonderful little video that I'm going to play with my buddy Terry Miller. And Terry and I did this. It is a great little tune, and I want you to check it out. It's called I Wish You Love. All right, Mikey, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, Terry, you ready?
I am ready, sir.
Goodbye. No use leading with our chins. This is where our story ends. Never lovers, ever friends. Goodbye. Let us call it a day. But before you walk away, I sincerely want to say, I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing, and then a kiss. But more than this, I wish you love. And in July, a lemonade to cool you in some leafy glade. I wish you health, and more than well, I wish you love. My breaking heart, and I agree that you and I could never be. So with my best, my very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the cold, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love.
Terry Miller, my breaking heart, and I agree that you and I could never be. So with my best, my very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love.
Abby.
Terry Miller.
Sweetheart. Yeah, Terry Miller and myself doing a little bit of I Wish You Love. So listen, we want to get to our story because I've got a dear pal of mine who is also a legend in the music industry, and I'm just so thrilled that he's with us today. Mike's not only just an American musician and a record producer, music publisher, and by far a music impresario. He is the founder of Shrapnel Label Group, which includes Shrapnel Records, Tone Center Records, and Blues Bureau International. Amazon.com says Mike's got over 700, almost 800 records being released by his record labels on Amazon these days. Mike's probably singularly the most responsible individual for starting the mid-1980s shred guitar boom. I certainly remember those days. I loved it when it came out. And he still does it with some of the best artists on the planet. Some of the artists that Mike got a start for was guys like Yngwie Malmsteen, David Lee Roth, Kansas, Brides of Destruction, John Five, The Outlaws, Pat Travers, Rick Derringer. I mean, we know all these guys. These are the Michael Landau, Neil Schon, Victor Wooten, Frank Gambale, Eric Johnson, John Schofield, Dennis Chambers, Scott Anderson. And our pal here to our show, Stu Hamm, has been on with us many times, as well as bands like Racer X, Mike Stern, and the list goes on and on and on. And I'm just so thrilled to have him here with us. Welcome to the show, our dear pal, Mr. MIKE VARNEY. Mark, you there?
I'm here, thank you.
Right on, dude. We're going to bring your picture in there here in a second. We're just far left. There it is. You're with us. Right on, man. Very cool.
Here. So, yeah, about Wikipedia, I didn't create that page, so I definitely did not start all those artists.
But I'm sure you had a hand into all that.
Oh, no, all of them appeared on records at the time, but I did start some of them, but certainly not all of them. And but yeah, somebody just grabbed, must have been from allmusic.com, and pulled every artist that ever appeared on every record that I ever did or something. You know, so anyway.
But these guys have all been on your record label, though, right?
Yeah, like there's a Neil Schon album, one record. Victor Wooten did a couple of projects with us with Steve Smith and Scott Henderson.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I mean, there's I had a label called Magna Carta that was a progressive rock label, and somehow we ended up with one David Lee Roth album back in the day. A little back there, but it's not quite as glorious as the introduction. But I'm standing here, and I'm happy to be here.
Dude, I'm just glad you're here, man. This is so very cool to have you here with us today. And so, listen, I got a bunch of questions I want to ask you. Where'd you get your start? I know you started the label like in the early 80s, right? But kind of what got you to that point before you were able to start Shrapnel?
Okay, well, I was a record collector from the time I was about 6 years old. Every spare dime I could get went to buying records. And I dreamed of having a record label from the time I was a young man, before that, actually.
Wow.
Cousin was a well-known DJ in Seattle, actually, and you grew up there, right, in Seattle?
I did.
Danny Holiday.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And other stuff.
Holiday, yeah.
Personality in Seattle for 45, some crazy amount of time. And so he would give me promotional albums in the 60s and 70s and send me boxes of records. And so that really helped whet my appetite. And in 1977, I joined a punk rock band, which called The Nuns, and somehow ended up on like a coffee table California hardcore punk book, a number of photos. But we played the Whiskey, and we played the Winterland a number of times, and did some played with the Ramones and played with Blondie, and went through that whole television and that whole new wave scene. And then I ran into a lead singer named Rocky Sullivan, and he said, let's put a band together. So I called John Cipollina, who was a guitarist at Quicksilver Messenger Service, who was on the cover of Guitar Player magazine back in the day. And he agreed to join, so we started playing gigs with him. And we were playing Bill Graham's old Waldorf, and
Oh my goodness,
Mark
yeah.
there to see his girlfriend, I think, who was singing in the Rocky Sullivan Band backups. And he liked my guitar playing, and so he asked if I would play some sessions on a musical that he was writing. And I started doing the sessions, and I said, I like your lyrics, but I think I could write some better songs. And that's a cocky 20-year-old. And he got, let's see what you got. So I took his lyrics, rewrote some songs, and he said, wow, let's record these. So I started writing a bunch more stuff for the thing, and I ended up being one of the third partners in this musical. And Bill Graham gave us the old Waldorf to put the show on. Got a lot of great reviews from that. We had a lot of interesting people in the show. And Mike came to the record deal, and so I co-produced the record with Marty until I offended him, and then I was left on my own, and then our co-writer helped me co-produce the album, and then the album came out. It was on the cover of Billboard magazine, paid for by EMI with a blue SG, Pelham blue SG, by the way. It's quite a oddball guitar, especially even back then. But the record failed because it was a pairing with a feature hour-and-a-half long video, and in 1980 there was no video market for this video release to come out to. The stores weren't in place yet for like another year. So record bomb, but I got double scale session pay and played keyboards, bass, and
Very
guitar.
cool.
And so I took that money and started Shrapnel. And that was 19. The Shrapnel started as the first heavy metal record label, but I didn't like a lot of the evil lyrics that were coming at me. And I was looking at these lyrics going, wow, it's not me. I have a hard time getting behind this. So I thought, why don't I try some instrumental music? So I grabbed Billy Sheehan, and it was with David Lee Roth at the time, and Steve Smith, who was in Journey. And we worked with a young guitar player, Tony McAlpine, and he had an amazing debut album. And that just kind of started that whole instrumental thing. But yeah, Yngwie actually was first, but I brought him over from Sweden and put him in a rock band called Steeler. And that was Yngwie Malmsteen. But, there's Paul Gilbert, Greg Howe, Richie Kutzen, Michael Firkins, Marty Friedman, Jason Becker, Joy Tafoya, a whole bunch of young guitar players who got their start with Shrapnel. And I'm getting so old that I can't remember to name them all. And when I start naming 5 or 6 of them, I forget who I've left out. But
I know, but just mentoring guys like Marty and Greg and those types, I mean, that's just amazing, let alone Yngwie.
So being kind of a cocky kid, guitar player, album, like the guitar playing, somehow I ended up, and this is crazy, readers poll. That got me, that association got me back to party a guitar player. I cornered the public, asked if he would write a column about unknown guitar players. I thought, what about people like me that are young guitar players that are going to be the next guys? And I thought,
Right.
these Van Halen in the 70s, who would be the next guitar hero in the 80s? So I started to search all over the country for that. The album of guitar players, and they had called US. That was the actual first album. Moved on from metal to sort of the metal progressive rock and metal fusion and blues, all over the progressive rock. But anyway, questions, I would let you ask questions.
Hey, Mikey, yeah, we're getting a little problem here with the audio, so we're gonna let me go. I want to show. We've got several videos here. We're gonna show a video here, and then we can figure out what's going on with the sound. Or you're kind of breaking in and out on us. So Our first video that Mike and I, along with the incomparable Terry Miller and Andy Fraga Jr. have done, is a tune that was, of course, made famous by the great B.B. King. We've got Mike just tearing it up on guitar on this one. It's called The Thrill Is Gone. So check it out. All right, Mikey, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Be sorry someday. The thrill is gone. It's gone away from me. The thrill is gone. It's gone away from me. Though I still live on, but so lonely will I be. Thrill is gone, it's gone away for good. Whoa, the thrill is gone, baby, it's gone away for good. Someday I know I'll be over, baby, just like a man should. It's on my knees. You know I'm free, free from your spell. Yes, I'm free, free from your spell. Now that it's over, baby, all I can do is wish you well. Boy, that's all kinds of chops flying on that one. Tearing it up, Mike. Hey, what kind of guitar was that you're playing there?
It was a Gibson SG Standard, and I definitely overplayed. And called me the note crowder when I was a kid. And
Note crowder?
Yeah. So I started
line.
playing with that so I could slow down. And then I ended up playing too fast with my fingers. So since I don't play very much, I have a hard time being subtle and holding back. If I were to produce myself, I would fire myself in the first notes and tell me to get out. Unfortunately, when I play some guitar, considering I've told people far better than I that they need to play and redo the solo or whatever, I definitely have a lot of pressure on myself. I edit every head, so but I enjoyed it. Thank you.
The producer's head's going on there, yeah.
Every note.
So, who were some of your influences when you first got started? I mean, who did you listen to?
Well,
who were you inspired by?
I think a lot of people, but I think Michael Schenker was the guy that I ended up making a lot of records with, including the UFO albums. I was inspired by him. Pat Travers, I also made probably a dozen records. We did probably him. Rick Derringer, who we made a lot of records with. I ended up working with a lot of my influences. As far as people I thought were incredible, I thought Van Halen was a game changer, and Hendrix was a game changer, and Alan Holdsworth was a game changer. I would say those, and Gary Moore actually, I got into him when I was in 7th grade or 8th grade in like 1970, 71. Gary Moore already back then was doing insane stuff. Gary Moore, and guys could hear some of these influences in my playing, but unfortunately I'm not that good. But those are some of the guys that I really like. John Roth, who was the guitarist in the Scorpions, he was kind of one of his big influences. Like Al Di Meola, I couldn't play a note he played, but wish I could. Between fusion guitar players, blues rock guitar players, and some heavy metal guitar players, it's sort of an amalgam of all those.
That's pretty cool. And when you decided to sort of bring some of these guys, I mean, some of them were already out there kind of playing, right? Derringer, he's kind of like your peers, right? They were already.
They were my idols. Hey, you had some connection with the Outlaws or something. Did you run into them or on the road? Or
I did on the road. Yeah.
Cool. We did a couple records with them, and I'd gone down during a break here in Macon, Georgia, at the Capricorn Studios, owned by the Stuckey family. That has a bunch of little restaurants called Stuckey's all over the place. And I went down and bought a guitar and came in, and Huey Thomas later on would be in Leonard Skinner. Huey was the founder. He said, "Hey, you want to play on this tune?" And it was him, Chris Hicks, who's been in the Marshall Tucker band for the last 20-something years. Why don't you play with me, Chris? And I said, okay. And so I did go down a solo with the guys. That album had Gary Rosington on it from Leonard Skinner and Billy Powell from Leonard Skinner. And anyway, the funny thing was the manager came over and goes, "Pretty smart of Huey asking the label president to play on the record." And I said, "Believe me," I said, "he's not nearly the first." And I said, "It's very transparent, and I'm a solo hog, so I'll definitely not say no." But,
yeah, no kidding.
Funny.
I love it.
Had a great manager. Anyway.
Well, dude, let me lay another video on everybody here. We got a couple of them here. This one is a very cool tune, Elmore James tune, called "The Sky Is Crying." We're kind of doing it the a la Stevie Ray Vaughan version. And on this one, it's, of course, Mike on lead guitar, Terry Miller on bass, Andy Fraggett Jr. on the drums, yours truly on rhythm guitar and vocals. And joining us is the ever-present, omnipresent Jim Pugh on Hammond B3, helping us out a little bit. So give it a listen.
Love him.
Here we go, boys. 3, 4. Sky is crying. you see the tears roll down the street? Ooh, the sky is crying. Can't you see the tears roll down the street? On down the street. Been looking for my baby. I wonder where can she be? Saw my baby early one morning. She was walking on down the street. Ooh, I saw my baby early this morning. She was walking on down the street. You know it hurt me so bad. Made my poor heart skip a beat. Sky's been crying. You can't see the tears roll down my nose. Holy moly, the sky is crying. Woo! Mike, just tearing it up.
Elmore James is probably crying right now, asking what that note crowder is doing on his great
note
song.
Crowder. I got to remember that one. I got a few saxophone players I should be using that term with. Note crowder.
As long as they're the right notes, I think you can do as much as possible. But unfortunately, I don't necessarily play the right notes either.
I don't know. I remember the great saying. I won't say who said it, and I won't say who it was to, because I don't want to put anybody on the line. But the saxophonist was just into it, playing behind this vocalist, and this vocalist finally stopped singing and turned back and looked at the saxophone player, and he says, "Dude," he says, "play where I'm not." And
That says it all, really, right
It
there.
says it all right there. I thought, play where I'm not.
My guitar player, Tom Petty, he's really a kind of guy, but we played a little bit of a retreat that you and I went. He said,
Dude, I'm sorry you're breaking up again on me here. I'm having a hard time. If it's maybe it's
he said, twice as you play half as many notes, you'd be twice as good.
I love it.
Best lines ever, and I was not offended by it either. It was, I like that. That's a good words of advice.
Yeah, well, dude, you sound great. No, that does not apply to you, and it doesn't apply to these, especially these great blues tunes that you picked, man. And we're just loving them.
I picked the most low-hanging fruit that I figured I couldn't screw any of this stuff up.
Oh man. So listen, what's news? What do you got coming up next on the old?
Well, we released our last record. We released was a Steve Kahn album.
Oh yeah.
Kahn is a fabulous guitar player and known for writing some great books on playing, and the last thing we released sort of, different than when I started it. When I started, it was vinyl only, and I said I'm not going to ever make, cassettes. Then I'm making cassettes. Then it's like I'm not going to ever make those CDs. Then I'm making CDs. Then pretty soon I'm not making vinyl. And then pretty soon it's on the internet for free. So I'm making a record with. I think Tony Curtis and I are going to make another record here pretty soon. Stoney, you met before and played with, great guitar player, and also working with a guy here in Las Vegas, and he doesn't want to say anything before the record's out because he said there's too many people talking smack around here that doesn't want to be another one of those guys. He just wants to have his record released. Someone sings and plays great writers. Kind of that. Really, I'm pretty much tired at this point, but I'll do a record.
What's that?
That I will do a record here or there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Pretty much retired. Why I want to play more guitar and learn not to crowd notes. So putting my pick down didn't slow me down. I might have to band a couple fingers together with duct tape or something. So
you'll have to do the old Django Reinhardt thing and just play with two fingers.
Yeah, I wish. But yeah, if you have any other questions about some stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, I do. I have one more question. Well, I have a lot of questions for you, but I have one more. I definitely know our listeners want to talk about was, of course, the untimely and sad death of Eddie Van Halen. And
very, very. I met him a couple of times, so I didn't know him at all. I was not at all, but like I said, down as far as who kind of changed the way the guitar would probably be probably well. Each of those guys, when I heard them, visualize what was going on. Of course, I was 12 when I heard Jimi Hendrix, or 11 or whatever, but I remember buying the record going, God, what is going on here? That's what Halen, I thought, wow, it's time to quit playing guitar or time to practice. I was already an adult, and I didn't have time to practice, so I started a record label.
Oh, man. I love it.
Because if you couldn't play that stuff, you were pretty much, you're out trying to get everybody wanted a guy that could play two-handed tapping and all that kind of stuff. I spent too much time learning to crowd notes, and the right hand never got to touch the fretboard. But yeah, I would think Van Halen was maybe one of the guitar players in the world that ever was. Only, like I said, a handful of people that even probably were close.
I couldn't agree more. I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. Hey, you got some pals, Leo Vigil and Bob Sky. Say hi.
Hey,
Sending
Bob.
out their best out there. And of course, wonderful Leo. We had Leo on a few weeks ago.
Right on.
So
Great musician.
hey, listen, I got one more tune I want to lay out there. Can you stick around for a second?
Of course.
Great. So this one goes out to all our Chicago pals. That means you, John Connors. This one, of course, is Mike tearing it up again on guitar. Yours truly singing, and the ubiquitous Terry Miller and Andy Frager Jr. on the drums, doing the all-time classic "Sweet Home Chicago." Give it a listen. Here we go. Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go to that same old place, Sweet Home Chicago? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, oh baby, don't you wanna go? Oh, that same old place, Sweet Home Chicago. Yeah. 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. I'm heavy loaded, baby. I booked, I gotta go. Come on, oh, baby, got to go. That same old place, the Sweet Home Chicago. Break. 2 and 2 is 4, 6 and 2 is 8. Come on now, baby, don't you ever make me late. Come on, 'cause baby, don't you wanna go to that same old place, a Sweet Home Chicago. Come on, Mikey. Mikey. We're gonna break. 6 and 2 is 8. 8 and 2 is 10. She double crossed you one time, she gonna do it again. Come on, baby, don't you wanna go whoa, 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 to that same old place, the Sweet Home Chicago? Say, come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go to that same old place, Sweet Home Chicago? To that same old place, Sweet Home Chicago. That's right. To that same old place, Sweet Home Chicago. Wow! Yeah, Mikey, tearing it up.
Like I said, I hate everything I play when I listen back, so it's hard for me to. But I appreciate you saying that.
Dude,
and
but the feeling's mutual. I can't stand hearing myself play.
well,
All I hear is wrong, 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 wrong.
or better. But likely though, you have so many people that really love the way you play, there's some satisfaction in that, even if you don't like it.
There is always satisfaction and pity, no matter how much you.
I was watching your Steve Miller collaboration on Nature Boy, I don't know, somewhere recently.
Oh my goodness.
I was watching something else that you did. Every once in a while, I go online and look at people's clips. And one of them. Great.
Well, these are going to be on YouTube very shortly. All the music clips that you're hearing here, and then the show itself stays on Facebook for like 3-4 days, so you can always go back and check it out. In fact, we ask all our listeners to go out there and share it as much as you can. Share the show and get as many people listening to it as possible. Mike, I can't thank you enough for taking the time out and doing the great tunes and giving us something fun to play with and play to, and then getting to know you a lot better.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Man, I hope you'll think about coming back on here again. There's so many more things I want to talk to you about, and so many more tunes we want to play.
I got plenty of time.
Dude. Hey, listen, and also a big shout out there to Stoney Curtis. Curtis, thank you so much. Great guitarist. Make sure you guys go out to Shrapnel Records and check out their playlist. Go check out their library. It's some great stuff. Thanks again, Mike. Take care. Well, that is our show for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, and what a show it was. I want to give a big shout out, of course, to the one and only Missoni behind the stage here. And here's Ellington, the Wonder Dog. He's going to say hi and bye to everybody. And big shout out, big thanks to Mike Varney, Terry Miller, Andy Fraga Jr., and of course, a big shout out to Jim Pugh. Jim, thanks so much for playing some organ on that. It was really killing. Remember, Uncle Larry Dunlap's Cave Show is on at 7 o'clock here on Facebook. And we'll be back next week. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And whatever happens, try to be kind, try to be sweet, try to be nice, just cordial. And remember, whatever happens, whatever goes on in your life. Hey, big shout out to James Bragg. Thank you, James. And Georgie, I'm glad to see you guys are feeling better back online. Anyway, remember, guys, whatever happens, remember to keep it swinging.